Bonjour, motherfuckers. Alright, here's a quick vid on how to fill in your diary because I realize it's quite technical. You haven't done it before, it'll take a bit of getting used to, and the instructions on the page might not be quite enough. So, here's like an example of how to do it basically. So, I've got a template here. Okay, so hypothetically, the day is Thursday, the 9th of November 2017. You wake up. You see a reminder on your phone. You can actually see two reminders per the reminders you put in your phone in the setup document. One is going to say check-in, the other is going to say selfie and caliper. So selfie means you just take a selfie on your phone of you. Do you want to? Of you like front ways in the mirror and one like sideways ish, and save it on Google Keep as like selfie, and then you add the date. You can keep this for personal purposes, but it's good to see like a visual progress moving forwards. You don't need to send this to me or anything unless you want to. So caliper would be the next thing you do. So this.
So what you do is you grab a skin fold just below your belly button, about sort of an inch to the right. You grab as much flesh, well, like sort of a handful, pinch's worth, and then you get a number until the press thing goes in. And you do that, say 5 times, and take a kind of mental average of the 5 numbers that you get, because sometimes there's a bit of discrepancy between them. So you put them in the sheets. So say here my number was 12, and because I'm a nerd, I've made some sort of fancy formula which will spit out an estimated body fat percentage based on the number that you put in the caliper reading section. We track body fat because it means you get an idea of whether you're gaining or losing fat and muscle. So you could go a few months where you lose 3 kilos of fat and gain 3 kilos of muscle, but unless you're tracking your body fat, you won't know because your weight just says you're the same. Okay, so next thing, weight. So I'm 87 kilos today. Now, as you see here, this spits out a lean score, which is on the basis of this ridiculously nerdy equation that I've come up with. This gives you, which is quite nice, this gives you like an overall leanness score out of 10. You can ask me for details on how I calculated and all that kind of stuff. It's boring, well, not boring, I find it quite interesting, but it's technical. This is good as like an overall indicator of how lean you are over time. Next thing you track is the green section. So this is the nutrition section. Green if my colorblind eyes are not deceiving me. So calories, protein. You dip into MyFitnessPal quickly, get the 2 numbers for what you had the previous day. So here we say I had 2,600 calories, 150 grams of protein. And so what that means is, I'd say you do the details for yesterday. So obviously, say it's Thursday morning, you wake up, you're going to step on the scales, do your caliper reading. That's how you are now. Obviously, when you're tracking your nutrition, what you eat and stuff, what you've eaten and stuff, on a Thursday morning, you're not going to be able to know what you did for that day as you did for yesterday. Next score you do is your nutrition score. So this is a score which you do out of 10, which measures not like how well you did nutrition or whether you ate the right number of calories and stuff. This is just a tool to mark how accurately you've been weighing, how accurately you know what you've been consuming. So I've given a guide here in the green section to say like how you track this. So say you track and weigh 100% of the things you eat. That means you have a really, really good idea of what you're eating.
So you give yourself a 10 out of 10, and then the other ones are there. You can read that yourself. So say for the sake of argument, I was like a complete nerd and tracked and weighed everything. So I give myself a score of 10 out of 10. And these scores of 2,600 calories and protein 150 grams are just taken over from MyFitnessPal. Okay, next thing is training. So here you just give yourself a score out of 7, but it's binary, so you give yourself either 0 or give yourself either. Oh, I think I froze there. Quite a nice face. Either give yourself a score of 0 or 7. 0 would mean didn't go to the gym. 7 would mean did go to the gym and completed all exercises. Let's say here that I did go to the gym yesterday. Therefore, I give myself a score of 7. Why 7, you ask? Because if you fill this in every day with 7 or 0 for the whole week, then the average score that you get at the bottom here will tell you how many times in total you've been to the gym. So say, for example, I have a 0, and then I go to the gym on Friday, and I don't go to the gym on Saturday or Sunday. This means the average comes out at 3. So that's how many times you've been to the gym in the whole week. And that is what we're looking for. So we're aiming in this first stage to go at least 3 times in the first week. I hope that makes sense. Last thing you track is your routine, which is basically whether or not you actually did fill in your diary first thing in the morning after you got out of bed. This is something that will build over time. We might add things into your routine once this is habitualized, but at first we're just sticking to the tracking whether you did your check-in. So let's say that yes, we did track it. Give yourself a score out of 10. So that's how to track your diary. That's how to do your check-in. I'll do a separate video on how to track, how to do your training stuff. I hope that wasn't a complete shambles and was vaguely useful. Please let me know of any questions. Thank you. Right, let's stop the screen recording.